In a stolen car, I fucked up so bad outside the bar. Heading out as far away I can. Heart is pounding, got so damn out of hand. Doing 90 through the city night. Nothing's ever gonna be alright. Life will never be what it was. Hands are shaking, 'cause now my future is crashing down on me. Try to kill me when I fought back. I cracked the scars with a baseball bat. But justice will never make this right. I need to run and stay out of sight. Had no choice, it was me or them. Now for a lifetime I'm condemned. I have to forget my old set way of life. I'll go to prison or die by the night. The sirens, they are closing in. Such a fast car starts to spin. Screaming tires, time is running short. I go on foot as my last resort. Running harder, faster than before. Until my legs and feet are sore. Life will never be what it was. My mind is shaking, 'cause now my future is crashing down on me. Try to kill me when I fought back. I cracked the scars with a baseball bat. But justice will never make this right. I need to run and stay out of sight. Had no choice, it was me or them. Now for a lifetime I'm condemned. Have to forget my old set way of life. I'll go to prison or die by the knife. Now my future's crashing down on me. They try to kill me when I fought back. I cracked the scars with a baseball bat. But justice will never make this right. I need to run and stay out of sight. Had no choice, it was me or them. Now for a lifetime I'm condemned. Have to forget my old set way of life. I'll go to prison or die by the night. They try to kill me when I fought back. I cracked the scars with a baseball bat. But justice will never make this right. I need to run and stay out of sight. Had no choice, it was me or them. Now for a lifetime I'm condemned. Have to forget my old set way of life. I'll go to prison or die by the night.
Confirmed officer down 1980 Park Avenue.
There is a sixth dimension beyond that which is known to man. A multiverse as vast as eternity, as timeless as the Infinity Gems. It is the middle ground between the big two and the indie publishers, between sci-fi and mysticism, and it lies between the pages of the reader's imagination. At the summit of entertainment, the dimension of comics, where a humble service is held. We call this service the Gospel of Comics.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comics. I am your host, the Church of Failure, and with me as always is my trusty co-host, Ayrton McCartney. How you doing today, buddy?
Oh, pretty good. It's going to be a long night, but it should be fun.
Long night? Why do you say that?
Oh, I got some musical surprises coming over the next couple of days over on my channel. So, going to be working on some stuff deep through the night and into tomorrow.
Well, we are joined in the virtual studio today by a couple of guest panelists. The first of which being Alasmat Films, who should unmute himself and introduce himself to to everybody on the show. Alasmat, unmute by there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, sorry about that. It's been a crazy 20 hours. Real life took over, so I'm not in the. Well, I'm okay, but I'm pretty fiery right now. So
Hey, that's the
how's
best of the
everybody today?
that's the best of the world, man. I mean, usually by the end of the show, I'm just completely trashed, and tonight will be no different because I am drinking some cheap benchmark old number 8 brand bourbon, McAfee's,
Ooh.
and smoking a Black Label Salvation cigar, courtesy of my my wonderful co-host, the tobaccoist Ayrton McCartney. There, so
Sounds good. Sounds good.
bring all the fire you want, buddy. That's where we're at.
Well,
So
yeah.
oh
No, go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's what the show is all about, and I wanted to bring the panel together because we were having a discussion kind of off air a little bit, and there were some very differing opinions, and that's kind of the way that every discourse should be. I think everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has, the way they see things from their own perspective, and if we all thought and saw the same thing, then there'd be no point in having discussions at all. So I wanted to put this show together so that maybe people from the outside looking in could kind of get a perspective on where the four voices that are set to be on the panel this evening felt in the general sense of where Comicsgate is as a movement, as a hashtag, as an industry, whatever. We all have our different interpretations of how certain things have gone and how we feel about, certain aspects of the Comicsgate movement and certain people within and without it. I've seen a lot of growing sympathies towards people that were excommunicated early. NCG kind of coming back around. I've seen a lot of, division between people that were, down like two flat tires not a month ago. So I thought it would be an interesting topic to discuss. I figure, what's the worst that could happen?
Well,
We start screaming at each other.
every day's something new. So
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's part of. I think that's part of the reason that I got so fired up in our discussion previously is because I've said this before. I was a lot more inebriated, but this just all reeks of Gamergate to me, and that's not a good thing. But
you know what? It's not even just Gamergate. It's just a system of how human beings run things. You need to look no further than George Orwell's Animal Farm, and what you're seeing in Comicsgate is the mirror of that book.
well, I am not very familiar with Animal Farm. I'm more of a 1984 guy. So why don't you explain that? Like, why don't you give us some example of the similarities?
Well, I mean, the story of Animal Farm is about a revolt of animals who are mistreated in the farm, and they remove their human abusers, and they run the farm themselves, try to implement the system for themselves, so they can run as they see fit a better system. Only to see that system being usurped by a small community within it that wants to run it in a similar fashion, if not in a worse fashion than the previous owners had run it.
I that
All,
Oh,
yep.
go ahead. No, that reminds me of a of an experiment. The prisoners and the guards experiment that's so famous, where you get a group of people who have no authority over one another, and you just assign half of them prisoners and half of them guards, and eventually the powers that be like let that power corrupt, even though there's no actual authority involved whatsoever.
Well, human beings need authority, so whether we think ourselves idealists, there's no such thing as a system run by men where there isn't authority.
No, I agree with that. Now,
Hello?
the uh,
Oh,
the
okay.
the analogy you brought up, though, I think I can kind of simplify it down as Comicsgate started because of the mistreatment of customers in the comics medium, right? And
Yep.
a group of creators and would-be creators, people that hadn't really gotten a lot of play, banded together and created this hashtag movement and started putting out some really respectable products. There's no doubt in my mind that first gen Comicsgate was, not only a sight for sore eyes, but it was something that we were willing to shell out 5, 10 times the price of a normal comic book just to support these people and what they were doing, right?
I mean, we took a chance, and you have creators with fresh new ideas, fresh new characters. So it's enticing, and it's in some ways it still is. Like, I still back books, and there's a lot of customers that still back these books because you know, you, it's all in the pitch. You get these exciting characters. I'll give you some examples. Uh, Peregrine is one example. It's a very exciting looking book, some great artwork on the cover. That looks like a good story. So
That's
it was
that's
for me a
that,
no-brainer to back that book.
that's the book that Piper's involved with, right?
That's from the Greater Point Five team.
Yeah.
Right, Piper and Chief Justice Optimus Deadpool. So
Okay.
I backed that book. To me, that was a no-brainer.
Okay.
As well as who else? Who else did I back recently? Oh, Samurai and Dinosaurs, which is an inspired idea by
I
Mike Murphy. So
I hate that I missed that one. That one sounded amazing to me. I found out about it a little late.
it's on demand right now, so you can actually still back it.
Well, I spent all my
Really?
money. I spent all my money that I could spend on backing
Ah,
books before I knew about it. COVID
gotcha.
hit
Yeah,
me in the
Church has an
pocketbook.
allowance for backing books.
Yeah, COVID hit me in the pocketbook,
Yeah,
and that allowance has all but been depleted until we get our next Trump
yeah,
bucks. But
I hear you.
but
Yeah,
no, and I fully agree with that. I don't think that it's a problem that can be narrowed down to any one individual. Like, I'm not gonna come on here and say that, oh well, this one person is responsible wholeheartedly for every gripe that we're gonna bring up with the movement. But I feel like there's been some hypocrisy. I feel like there's been some division, just almost classist division in
right.
Comicsgate as a whole, and I feel like the spirit of the movement isn't what I signed up for anymore. And that was my main grief with it. But
I feel that way too. And
you're the
yeah,
guest. I wanted to
I
I
told you.
wanted to let you open up with that first, and then we'll move on to Ayrton and see where we get from there. So now that we've established
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
what the point of the show is, please by all means give us your opening statement, if you will.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. And I apologize for talking over. I get very impulsive when I speak, so there's no offense meant in
Well,
that.
no, no, no. I
Um,
encourage it. We only don't like dead air on this show, so by all means, just talk over me. I'll talk over you if I don't like
okay,
it.
that's fine. Touche. Okay. Um, so the thing we have to establish ourselves or remind ourselves, I think we've forgotten this one major point. Comicsgate is a customer revolt movement. It is not a creator movement. Creators are appealing to that crowd. They're appealing to that demographic. They're appealing to Comicsgate. Now, you could be a Comicsgate creator, but the creators aren't Comicsgate. It's the customers and the fans who are Comicsgate. And I think we've forgotten that. We've kind of like deviated a little bit away from that. And we have a hybrid movement of customers versus creators. And that's what's happened. We have creators at war with customers. In some cases, that it's not their intent, but it's become that because they become soft on criticism.
I agree. I think that I'm seeing more and more that we're starting to see that the ideal of a creator basically taking criticism on the chin is something that you can't really hope for. And that's one of the things that Comicsgate was founded on, is the idea that, if a customer is critical of you or doesn't like something you do, you don't pull a Tom King or a Donnie Coates or a Gail Simone and lash out at them. You don't blockbot customers, and you don't, base your response to a customer on their ideology or something like that. And I've seen all of that happening and more with a lot of these, upper echelon creators. The main example I think would be is the schism with War Campaign, but I've seen it with people who weren't involved with War Campaign. And the writing's kind of been on the wall since the split with Doug TenNapel, Mike Miller, and Edwin Boyette. And because of that, I think that it. At that point, I don't know that there was any more true Comicsgate as far as the creators go, because the entire point of the movement is to allow customers to critique and communicate with creators on that level, but you're just going to stoop to the level of blockbotting and, or harassing customers more or less on Twitter and social media, then how is that any different than what Marvel and DC were doing in the first place? And I'm not saying that everyone is guilty of this, but I think we can all agree that we've seen it from someone who identifies as a Comicsgate creator on at least Twitter, of course. I mean, am I wrong
Well,
there?
that's kind of well, I feel like we talked about this, I don't know, a year ago on the show.
Right.
That as people started getting more successful, making more money off their campaigns and whatnot, that you would see these bigger creators come into the movement and ruin it. And I'm pretty sure we predicted this unintentionally like a year ago.
Yeah, we didn't predict that it would be a dynamite debacle, as the show is now called. But yeah, I ask in the way back when, like, what's stopping somebody like Sean Gordon Murphy, for example, from declaring themselves Comicsgate and trying to get in on this money, especially now that COVID's had everybody grounded, and it's hurting distribution, it's hurting
you can
creative. Yeah, go ahead.
But somehow you're still sexually harassing people while you're stuck.
Well, that's just Tom King and Mark Waid. Calm down. Maybe a little bit of Mags, but I don't know for sure. Allegedly.
What are you saying? I'm not at their level?
What, with sexual harassment? Probably not. You've never made me feel violated on this show. Well, that's a lie.
I was going to say, that's definitely a lie.
But
remember when I did your intro?
Oh. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Well, my last Matt just dropped out. Hopefully he comes back.
Oh, he died.
Keep an eye on the Discord. I don't know what happened. Hopefully he'll be back, but...
Oh, he's back in the waiting room.
Okay. All right. There we go.
There he is.
Welcome back, sir. Nope. He's gone again. Yep. You there? He's gone again.
What the hell?
Maybe. Third time's the charm.
Back into the waiting room.
Nope. Hop in the waiting room and see if everything's okay. Hell? I'll
go check on him.
Okay. While he does that, like I was saying, I think that we've all seen the fact that some of these quote-unquote dedicated Comicsgate creators are, just as guilty as some of the mainstream creators were. And I don't take that, I don't hold that against them. Sometimes it is just nice to just block or mute somebody who is constantly spamming you, constantly harassing you, constantly defaming your character. But on the other hand, you can't go around calling yourself a customer. Oh, there he is. Okay, he's back. All right, sir.
So how much of me got cut off?
I've been filibustering for about 4 minutes now, so.
Oh man.
But I think the last question that I was positing to the panel was, we've all seen creators that declare themselves Comicsgate who have committed things, who have committed things that we would call Marvel and DC guilty of not 2 years ago, right?
Yep, I agree with that.
So go ahead and
And
yeah, go ahead.
well, I don't know how much of what I said was heard, how much of it got cut off, but yeah, what's going on in CG is no different than what's happened in the big two. We're just seeing the initial stages of it, and people are turning a blind eye to it. Whether it's creator going after creator, creator blocking customers, um, whether it's simple complaints being turned into uh, long, dragged out actions that result in channels being struck down for copyright flagging or customers getting blocked, and then that
You
bitter
mean like
feelings
this one?
ensues.
Yeah.
Well, I did not know that, but yeah. So again, yeah, you must be the second channel by a CG creator.
We don't know. We got hit with a copyright claim midstream and got kicked off there a
Yeah.
couple times.
Well, I mean, the copyright claim will say who it's from, so it is public knowledge. So if it says who it is,
It
you can say who.
Yeah, that information's kind of under my hat for the moment. We'll talk about that when I have a little bit, because you can plug in any name you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, like there are people out there with fake. Like I've flagged myself before, according to a YouTube
Right.
flag. Church of Failure flagged my
Really?
channel
Okay.
down. Yeah, yeah. But I've got some information on who I think it might be, but I'm not 100% sure yet. We'll just keep that one under the old church helmet for the moment.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
But
Under
I
the
respect that.
steeple, as it were.
it was not a
Yeah. No.
Comicscape professional. I will say that it was not a Comicscape professional. It was someone involved in the
Gotcha.
anti-Comicscape movement, as far as I know, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Understood.
but anyway, no, I think it's funny, and I've called out the hypocrisy before. There's a. Are you familiar with Nick Rekieta, a Map?
Yeah, I listen to him quite often. He's pretty good.
Okay, do you
Hey,
remember?
real quick, Bandito is in the waiting room.
Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead and
go
sound
sound
check him.
check him and then pull
Yeah.
him over.
Well,
Okay.
I don't know if you remember, but a while back, Rekieta hosted a debate between Jason Youngbluth and Ethan Van Sciver. You remember that?
I do remember that debate. Yes, I do.
Okay, do you remember how that stream ended?
It ended with Young Bluth issuing an F bomb
Yeah,
that
but
got
not
Ricada
the
pissed off,
not
and
not the
he
fuck
booted him
bomb
off.
either. The FAGGOT bomb.
The one that EVS has lately been using. That bomb.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
just for the chat to know, because this is kind of one of my big pet peeves. I will call out hypocrisy at every avenue that I see it. Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
So what happened? Yeah. What happened in that chat was like around I say like a minute and 38. No, an hour and 30 minutes into that particular stream, Jason Young Bluth used that F bomb, referring to people that were that he people I guess within CG. EVS called him to task on that and said that it was offensive to his LGBTQ fans, and he does not use that word.
Yes, he did.
And then, of course, 2 years later, here he is using that word. 2 years later, he used that word against Pan from War Campaign on more than one occasion.
Yes,
And we know
yes, he
because we
did.
have that documented an from an Oz stream.
Yes,
And yeah,
and
so
I have a problem with that level of
okay.
hypocrisy. What were you saying, Ayrton?
Oh,
No, no,
Bandito's on his way to a coffee shop to get more stable internet. He's gonna DM me when he's ready. I'm gonna pull him in.
Not a problem.
So he's about 5 minutes out.
We'll be here. But yeah, that was the moment that I kind of took issue with Ethan proclaiming to be the head of Comicsgate, and I felt like he had kind of lost the plot.
He gives the head in Comicsgate.
I'm not going that far.
Yeah, I think. I mean,
I'm not that
I
drunk
definitely
yet.
think that there is a level of hypocrisy. There is a level of hypocrisy that has to be addressed for sure. So I think that people have been soft on it and easy on it, and that's a problem.
It
Because
is,
if it
and
was someone if it was someone, say President Poulter, who did that, you can be assured CG would have been all over him on that. There'll be video after video about, oh, he used the F bomb on some people.
Doug TenNapel.
That's not a good
If it had
thing.
been Doug TenNapel on the same show talking to the same person, it would have
I mean, look,
been.
Dr. Naple, say what you about him or Mike Miller. They didn't use the F bomb, but they got
Their beliefs
Mike
are
Miller in particular got drilled.
their beliefs are
I mean,
very
they
clear.
have Christian beliefs,
Their beliefs are very
right?
clear,
They have
but I
Christian
don't
beliefs,
think
but
they're offensive.
no, I mean it's the Christian faith. If you have an
Right.
issue with the Christian faith, that's one thing, but that's what the Christian faith teaches. But they got drilled. Well, Mike Miller got drilled for putting out a tweet saying pride is a sin, which, I mean, I can see how that could have been provocative, considering the timing of it, but it's not as offensive as using the F bomb.
You know
Right.
how
I
you
mean, we
handle
did
that.
just finish White History Month
Well,
with
now it's Man History Month, so
Jesse Lee Peterson. So
everybody,
right.
it's Man History Month this month. But the way you combat a tweet like "Pride is a sin," if you want to disavow it but still want to associate with that person, you don't like it. You don't retweet it. You might even quote retweet it and say "I disavow." But to tell somebody that they're not allowed to associate with you or yours anymore, then you have to really toe a line at that point and hold yourself to a higher standard even than that in order to maintain your credibility, I think. And you go around just letting, a homophobic slur roll off your lips like it's nothing multiple times on someone else's channel, and it just defend it even on Twitter, on your own show. You can't hold that moral high ground. And the fact that it's not something that's
Bandito.
oh
Well,
well,
welcome to the show, sir. I'm interrupting church.
yep.
How are you doing today?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey, hail and well met. How's everyone doing?
Oh, I've been better, but it costs more. You missed the introduction, but
Mm.
I'm enjoying a fine cigar and some cheap whiskey, and we're
Mm.
we're discussing the state of CG as a whole. Right now, I am discussing my problem with the hypocrisies of one Ethan Van Sciver at the moment, which led to a lot of disillusionment with me. That's the grand point of what I'm trying to make. I'm not going to harp on it because everybody in the audience has already heard it. You guys kind of both know where I stand on it. I am going to call out hypocrisy
I
every
heard a
time I
little
see
bit.
it.
Gotcha.
But
Right.
this show is more about everybody on the panel. I gave a Lasmat time for an opening statement. I figure I will do the same for you. Where do you see CG as it stands right
I think CG is still in a good place. Like I believe in Comicsgate. I believe in what it stood for initially. I mean, it's made up of the battered, bruised, and contused. Refugees from a mainstream that didn't want to the fans, and I think that is always going to be the core of Comicsgate, even though you're going to have a lot of people that are here for other reasons. But I think at the end of it, you have a group of people who simply want good entertainment, and they want stuff that makes them want, on some level, to be better people, or they see themselves in not necessarily like in the characters, but they see themselves being able to emulate what they see in the pages. Um, it's the idea of Superman as a character who always did good things. Just one second, I gotta roll up a window here.
now? Oh, no problem.
Yeah, we're good. And the idea of Comicsgate, I believe the idea of Comicsgate is a lot more. I don't know. I don't want to. I'm going to sound super hippy dippy by saying pure. I think it's a lot more pure than what um, the way it's being branded and the way that it's being maintained. Um, I think the creators have a little bit more control than they probably should in Comicsgate right now. But I think the fans will always correct that. The fans will always bring that back. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
I don't know. That's where I stand with.
well, I think, based on what you said, if it was just the fans involved that were, considered hashtag Comicsgate, then I think we'd be having a very
Mm-hmm.
different conversation right now. But I think it's the pros and the creators and the division between those people that has really kind of soured a lot of people's expectations of what CG is. I mean, you go back
Mm-hmm.
to early 2019 all the way to early 2020, and if you had a war campaign tag in your name, you were the most staunch supporter of anything with a CG hashtag in it, no matter what. You
Mm-hmm.
might call out something that you saw as being wrong or against your ethos or whatever, but you were always there for the discussion more so than the banter or littling. Whereas now, war campaign is a four-letter word in Comicsgate, according
Yeah,
to the
definitely.
upper echelon of creators, so to speak. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
Danielle
and I mean
Danielle
the
in the
human
chat.
sunbeam.
Well,
Sorry.
Danielle in the chat says, "Can you elaborate on creators having too much power? Shouldn't they have dominion over their own work?"
Oh, absolutely. I think creators should
So
have complete control
can I be
over
sarcastic
what
real
they're
quick?
creating, and if they are, have their finger on the pulse of the fan base, and they will create something that the fans are going to appreciate and enjoy. Um, I mean, I feel like creators have taken a little bit too much control over, um, or maybe they've been allowed too much control over how to think and what to think about, say, war campaign. I mean, just on like from my personal experience, we have, I never engaged in a lot of the activity that they have condemned. However, I'm condemned along with whatever activity they've condemned, simply because I identified with war campaign over, a lot of the issues that were coming. So that, because then, just based on their words, right, people who don't even know me now will have an opinion about me. And that's something that I don't think creators should be trying to do. Like, that is kind of in the same vein as a cancel culture, where you say, don't listen to these people, don't look at what they're doing. Um, you know, we're over here, we're the ones that are going to make things work, and that kind of thing.
If I
So,
can elaborate on that point, I'm sorry, I don't mean
Of
to cut you off.
course.
I just wanted to
no,
know if I can
please.
elaborate.
Yeah.
I want to elaborate on his point even more. As far as creators having control, I'll give you some examples. Micah Curtis banning customers from his chat because they voiced complaints about the shipping methods of his book. And
Mm,
instead of addressing it, he outright bans customers. Uh, Also, same Micah Curtis who accused, testified of wanting to kill a black man, which to me is atrocious, embarrassing for a CG creator. Or
hmm.
the
Wait,
treatment that's
what?
Garrett going on
Hold on.
honestly. So
You
hold
gotta,
on, hold on.
Yeah,
you
what?
gotta elaborate on
Hold
that
on,
one.
That's a
So
big one.
back up a little
so
bit.
Yeah,
and there is video of this if you want me to. I will
if you,
show this to you when I get off. I'll send it to
yeah,
your
send me a
Discord.
link. We'll
I will
play
show
it
you the
after you
video.
get off. Yeah.
So Testify was on a stream with Liam and Micah over the shipping and packing issues with the books that Micah sent out.
Okay,
And
Inglewood, right?
there's been some heat between right. There's been some heat between Testify and Liam and Mike.
Okay.
And in an argument between Testify and Micah, Micah basically tells him, and I'm paraphrasing, but it's more or less along the lines of, I would not expect you to put your knee on a black man.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I'll send you that link. See for
um,
yourself to show you that I'm
yeah,
not making this
and
up.
how familiar are you guys with the goings on of Gamergate?
I know bits and
I
pieces of it.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I remember it happening. I wasn't directly involved, but I did see a lot of fallout from it.
Okay. There's
I mean,
one name.
I know from here.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I
No,
was
go
saying
ahead.
that I know from hearing from people who were in the movement, like Medicare or even like Ethan Ralph and those guys. The whole movement basically splintered because everybody was trying to do their own thing, and it became monetized. Medicare himself was one of the first to bail out of it because of it.
Right. Now, there's one name that is synonymous with both Gamergate and Comicsgate that comes to mind anytime it's mentioned. Anybody want to venture a guess on what that name is?
Zoe Quinn.
Micah Curtis.
What?
He was part of Gamergate as well. He latched onto that for the money. He's latching onto this for the money. That's the general consensus. I don't know per se. Like, the guy apparently is a talented writer. I've never bought one of his books. His writing doesn't really appeal to me, but he does well for himself. I don't know that he's latching on for this, but that's an accusation that I've seen levied, and I do remember him in the midst of Gamergate. You can
Wow.
literally Google Micah Curtis Gamergate. The first link that comes up is Blistered Thumbs and Gamergate talk with Micah Curtis. Mundane Matt and Micah. One of the first YouTube links that comes up.
Now wait a minute, Matt.
Matt, no!
No. But why?
So just
Oh man.
take that
Well,
piece of information
now
for what it's worth, and we can move on from
right.
there. But that's just a little piece of a nugget of information to chew on for everybody.
So one of the things that, as because I'm looking to create a comic book and have that put out this year,
Right.
one of the things that I've always thought was good wisdom is creators should always hold each other at arm's length. I personally don't like it how
That's a good idea.
yeah, I personally don't like how creators get buddy buddy with each other, and then something happens, and then this massive fallout
Right.
takes place. And I personally believe that once you become a creator, you are. I mean, yeah, we're Comicsgate in the sense of we're fans of other people's works and that type of stuff. But I mean, your business becomes a different priority than simply Comicsgate. Comicsgate should be the priority in how you carry yourself and market yourself and all that type of stuff. But you're looking at this industry differently. You're looking at Comicsgate differently once you become a creator. So, when I consider the the stuff with Micah Curtis or anybody, right? It's like, well, first of all, I'm always going to be holding these guys at arm's length, no matter what opportunities are there, kind of thing.
Right.
Second of all, you should never cast judgment based on stuff that's, I don't know, there's this aspect of being out of context that doesn't allow, because you can never go back, you can never
Hold on 1
capture.
second. You're
I mean,
roboting just a little bit, Bandito.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
You're good. You're good. I trust me.
I'm good now. I'm good.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But yeah, so I just think that like creating, you keep people at arm's length, but you don't cast them out just because of an interaction that they ended up having with other people.
Well, we were
And I
talking
think
about
that
that.
there's a charity.
We were talking
Yeah,
about that
sorry, go
briefly
for it.
before you came on in regards to
Mm,
Mike Miller, Doug TeNapel, and Edwin Boyette being thrown out for their Christian beliefs over pride is a sin. And I actually brought up the
mm,
Nick Rekieta podcast where Jason Youngbluth and Ethan Van Sciver had a debate. Are you familiar with that podcast?
right. Yeah, I don't remember it, but I've heard it mentioned.
So
Oh, Rekieta? Oh, yeah. No. I remember everything about that. I watched it with Rekieta,
okay, so
and
so you remember why Jason
um,
Youngbluth got kicked
and
off that show?
I don't.
He was dropping the FAGGOT word nonchalantly 3 times.
Oh, right,
The British cigarette.
Yeah,
right.
the bundle of sticks word, and
Yeah.
that was okay with Ethan that he got censored for that, and it was disrespectful to do it to Nick Rekieta, but it wasn't disrespectful to do it
Right.
to Liam and Oz on their show.
Right. On their show against Pan.
Right.
Right.
It wasn't
Yeah.
disrespectful to defend
And
it.
At
those
least be
things.
consistent.
And
And
it's a
those things I
worse
think should be
infraction,
criticized.
and
So,
it's a.
well, no,
Go ahead, Ayrton.
I don't mean that as a joke. So I don't mean that as a joke. The only reason I think I slipped up once when we had Worski on. But other than that, I don't use that word on this show because out of respect for you, Church, I
Yes.
don't want to get
My
your
goddamn channel.
stricken down. But in my everyday life, I use that word all the time, like just nonchalantly as a joke. I just think it's a funny word. Like
Oh.
I don't hate gay people. I couldn't give two shits what genitals you like to put in your mouth, but I just think it's an entertaining word. So at least be consistent about it is my point.
Real quick,
Right.
let me address the chat real quick. Danielle Griffith in the chat says, so it's more about creators not being held accountable for actions that happen as a direct result of their comic. They can just ignore their
right here, Danielle.
They can just ignore their fans rather than responding to them and adapting. Ghost of Lime Dad says
Not if they want
Bandito is less coherent than my son Lime Gray. Oh, hey, I now know
I
who
see what
Ghost
she
is.
means about being used to. Yeah, I see what she means by being used to roboting from Ayrton.
Oh yeah.
Hi.
Oh, his audio is like 10,000 times better than the days where he was calling in from a tin can attached to a string. Now, Lasmat, you said at the beginning you might be on
okay.
Oh yeah.
a time constraint. So, how are you doing on time? Do you have to get out of here anytime soon, or are you okay?
I will be.
I'm sorry. What were we saying?
I said
Sorry, I thought you were asking me that question.
no. Lasmat
Well, I was
said
gonna
he.
say that I have a.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got about like 5 minutes left, so.
Okay, well,
I can stay on for.
yeah, go ahead and get in.
Yeah. Closing comments.
Any kind of final thoughts you have? I don't want you to have to cut it short or anything. The floor is yours for the.
Closing
I'm
argument.
not really leaving yet. I mean, I can
Well, I
survive
know-
for a little bit.
I know,
Yeah,
but I don't want
sorry,
you
go
to.
ahead.
I don't want you to have to bail out before you get any kind of points you have in like you want to get out. So
I'll make sure that if I make a point, that
okay,
um,
all right. So yeah, I agree with both of you guys, and I still love the idea of CG. Personally, I think that it's a great concept. I think the fact that we've allowed creators to basically rest on their laurels. Like another critique that I have, when you say a book makes X amount of dollars, you should have to subtract the original art tiers. You should have to subtract trinket tiers. You should have to subtract ash can
I like
tiers.
that. Yeah.
I think a book should make what the book actually sells. And I don't think the
Yeah,
goal
I
should
agree.
be
I like that idea.
I don't think the goal should be to have an increasing price point on your books over and over again for each campaign. I think you need to be trying to get closer to a
Hmm.
price point that's competitive with the mainstream industry, not the other way around. One of the best values I've ever
If
gotten out
not
of
beating them, hashtag Peter somebody is God.
well, I think one of the best campaigns, like one of the my favorite campaigns that I've ever backed, and one of the best values I've ever gotten out of CG was Knuckle Slipper Studios. 3 books for $11 shipped to your door.
Hell yeah. I
Wow.
mean,
I
we
mean,
also had an ad in one of their books.
yeah.
Just full disclosure.
Well, yeah. Full disclosure, but I paid for that ad. It wasn't like he did it for free because I had him on the show.
I know. I know. I know. I just,
I overpaid for that
it
ad
was
because
cool to
he
have an ad in a
undercharged.
comic book.
But I think that if mainstream prices are $5 a book, that we shouldn't be going from $25 to $50 for a comic book with an ash can attached. Like that's crap. I mean, how are you?
Well, and I do think that.
But
So I just interject there. Um, I do think the creator that can figure out how to do either a monthly or bi-monthly book for under $15 every single time,
yeah,
they're going to be the model to beat.
well,
Now, in order to get to that position, I think it's going to take a little bit of work, but I think it's possible.
well, even if it's a yearly or you know biannual or semi-annually, quarterly, whatever
Hmm.
trade for $25, but it needs to be trade quality. It needs to be a square bound 5 to 6 issue trade. It doesn't need to be something that's stapled together and say, but the cover's shiny. I just, I, I,
Well,
I'm
what I what I the one of the things though is that wherever we drop the price point, it's not just going to be the quality of the book that suffers. There could be the quality of the story that suffers, because if you are dropping the price point, you might need to, and you're trying to get them out quickly. What ends up happening is what we ended up seeing in the mainstream is filler issue after filler issue after filler issue,
right.
and
That's why.
because then the sorry, go for it.
Well, that's why I'm not pushing for a monthly book or anything like that. I just think what you put out needs to be
Bring up
at.
Super
Mhm.
Wars Church. Just do it. I know
I'm
you
not
want
going to do it, not yet. Um, but I don't think that we need a monthly system. I think that method's gone. I've brought that up multiple times on the show. I think the future of
Mhm.
comic books is going to be trade paperbacks and graphic novels. I think it's going to be collected editions where, okay, there might be one Spider Man trade a year or one compendium a year or whatever, but it's going to be the best damn Spider Man you've read in years. Um, there might be one Batman book a year, and it might be a phenomenal Batman book. But I don't think
Mhm.
that monthly issues have much longer life expectancy. Uh, and I don't expect
Yeah, I'd be
Comicsgate to
surprised if.
compete. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just agreeing with you. I'd be surprised if they end up outliving, the next couple years, in any significant form. There will always be some, I think, that are coming out like that,
Right.
but we'll never see it go away completely. Just like we haven't seen magazines go away completely.
Yeah.
But there will. I think you're right. The mainstream isn't going to be able to maintain it. Um,
And I don't think
and
that
I
that's where
think.
we need to compete. Like, I think that in Comicsgate, the market is rife to buy a Jawbreakers or, what is it? God, what's the one that John Malin did? Graveyard Shift?
Mon-
A Monster MD. But
Mhm.
again, that
yeah.
comes to my second point, and I'll rest on the second point. Let Elasmat get in. Uh, I think that the wait times are getting ridiculous. I've got more money tied up in Comicsgate than I have in my savings account. that I haven't received books on. Okay, I've got more.
I believe
I've got a dozen books
the
that are
waiting time.
past their ship date, and
Mhm.
it bothers me. It really bothers me to the sense that you're supposed to be quote unquote a professional. You're supposed to be like working with all of these people who have experience and have fulfilled campaigns. You can't give me an accurate time frame on when I'm getting this book. It's going to be hard to
Well, and
back
I
you
think
again.
yeah. The I think what creators. So I think there's two problems that creators are facing right now. One, most of them are artists, so they have to go at the pace that they can draw. So they themselves, as far as their project is concerned, can only come out at the speed that they themselves are able to produce it. I think that's a huge problem and a big setback. And the and it's not a huge. Sorry, I shouldn't say it like that. It's not a huge problem in that, uh, these books do look beautiful. Like these books have been coming out and they look amazing. So I mean, like the fact that it took them that long to do is reflected in the work, right?
I agree.
And then the other, but it is a problem in that people waiting for the next book to come out. I mean, what do they do in the meantime and in between time?
Well, and
The other
Jerk
problem is that. Oh, sorry, go for it. Let's
I was
talk about that part first.
well, I was going to let Elasmat get in on this too because, like I said,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
And
yeah,
I'll be
a
right
lot
back.
of it. I think a lot of it is, and I speak for myself as well, because I am in the middle of producing a book that's been well over a year in making. A lot of it is just first timers who didn't really take into account the
Mm.
process of making the book, editing the book, getting it approved, getting it. Uh, you know, again, I mentioned earlier in the beginning regarding the split in comics game. Uh, right now is not the best of times to release a campaign if you're first. There's and people don't want to say it, but I see it. There is a form of gatekeeping within Comicsgate. Are you for this group? Are you for so certain
Hmm.
creators tend to walk on thin ice when they be featured on shows, which hurts their ability. As a matter of fact, Drew Ish, who was one of the most professional and on-time CG creators out there
I
for
love that
Captain
guy.
Love, he
Captain
made the
Captain
Love to
book.
the
Love.
rescue.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
That guy's awesome.
I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. People talk about CG books being late, but he is one of the few that's on time and pronto. I think
Uh,
he needs
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be spotlighted more.
One of the best episodes
But
of the
that being said,
Gospel of Comics, Drew Ish came on to talk about Captain Love, Chapter 1.
yeah.
Uh, and that was a very fun show. That guy got all the respect plus some on this show. So
He
just
is
putting that
such a
out
good
there.
personality too.
Oh, dude,
Yeah, yeah.
I
He's such a good
really
personality to have on your shows. He needs to be on more stuff.
I want him as a co-host.
But my
I'd
point
fire
being,
Ayrton for him.
Hey,
no, he brings a lot of wisdom.
hey, I'm playing
My,
producer role today, motherfucker. Speaking of which, we
I saw
have
Rick Piper in
we
the waiting room.
yeah, he
Oh,
actually Rick he actually had something he wanted to say about projects being late and stuff. Rick, how you doing
Yeah.
today, buddy?
Oh, good, good,
hail.
good. I just want to. I know. Church backed my book, and I'm just wanting to apologize for it being late because my main problem is I've been having a hell of a time getting the money off Indiegogo.
Well, Rick Piper, I'm
Oh.
gonna interrupt you right there and say that you, sir, have actually done something that a lot of creators are guilty of not doing, and you have been transparent with your customer base the entire time. That is probably the biggest solution that we can look for in this era. Like if you're a first time creator, just be open and honest. Like just tell the truth.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Well, a few weeks ago, I did send out an update saying about it and showing screenshots of me not getting the money. I
yeah,
don't want anybody thinking I'm running off with this money And on my show all the time, I'm ranting about Indiegogo not giving my money. So, don't.
Rick
Well,
Piper, ladies and
Anybody-
gentlemen, the most wholesome person in Comicsgate, but that's because he's Canadian.
he's Canadian and Christian, and he couldn't run off with the money if he wanted to
Hail,
because
hail, brother.
he is stuck in a puddle of maple syrup. He couldn't
he would
run
just
off if he
explode.
wanted to. Yeah. But
Oh, that must be the one just down the street from me.
no, we weren't talking
But
about
yeah.
you, Rick, and I'm not talking about
Yeah,
like if you're a first time creator, you're learning as you go. Monster MD is a great example. That book took a little longer because they offered a second comic book that wasn't even in production as a stretch goal.
Yeah, they just made something up like, oh, if we make this much money, we'll write an entire second book.
Yeah, and
Oh, shit,
in-
we made
in-
that money? What
in-
are we going to do now?
yeah, in hindsight, that was pretty dumb. But I look forward to the book. It gave me time to back Shinobi Sasquatch as well. But at the same time, like I'm coming up on 6 months to a year late on my book, so
Wow, a year late.
let's look at this. Let me not be disingenuous here. Let's get an accurate number.
I mean,
It's pretty late.
at least it's
Oh, the
not.
great thing-
At least it's not our arch enemy being 7 years
Oh,
late on a project.
Yeah, the good thing for me is, I said mine was coming out July 2020. Hopefully by September I will have all the money issues, have the money, and the book's on the way to me. So,
Well,
Rick, we never had any doubt about you.
oh yeah, I know most people say no doubt about you. You believe you're gonna fulfill, not gonna run off with the money. But hey, it's
You're-
about being open and honest.
You're, and we appreciate that. And that's, if you want to be successful when you do have hiccups like you were having, it's an easy solution. You don't have to make up excuses like,
Yeah.
oh, what was the guy with his printing was all fucked?
real quick, Monster MD,
Oh, Art T. Bear?
Monster MD. The campaign actually completed funding a year ago, July 29th, 2019. Wow. The campaign was done with its first 60 days. So we are 14 months into this campaign. Let's look at Shinobi Sasquatch.
You know what? I could have drawn that out myself by that time. And I'm a writer.
Well, and don't get me wrong,
take an evening class on art.
I really like Monster MD as a property. I think it's going to be a good book.
Yeah.
But
I really like the concept of that.
June 1st, 2019, that book closed, and it was supposed to ship this month. So,
well,
we're 14 months out.
Ghost of Limestad, who says he's transparent because he's a ghost.
That's correct. Translucent is the word you're looking for, Ghost. Anyway.
Makes a good point.
But yeah, I mean, we're talking about 14-month turnaround times on a comic book. People don't like having their money tied up that long. He's 6 months off the wagon, too. This guy's never going to fulfill. Holy shit. Dillard just going at people.
Dillard.
He's going at me. That's all directed at me.
Dillard, get in here. I want to fight you about something.
Flim flam. You, sir, are a flim flam. Get out of my town.
That's Bandito and his Beth Dillard
Dillard, get
draws.
a microphone stand, goddammit.
Yeah, you know what? But the thing is, I look at these shows and I look at how we sit around talking and stuff, and these are the new comic book shops, right? Like, we don't get to go and hang out in the shops anymore and talk about the books and things that we think are cool and exciting and showing up. And whenever I see these shows happening, the spirit of this is always what comes out. Like exactly as we're sitting here laughing, talking about this, and that, like to me, that's Comicsgate. That
Plus,
that
we
is
can
the
drink
heart
and
of
smoke
this thing.
cigars.
Yeah.
Exactly, right?
But
So I mean, like it's even a little bit better.
yeah. Well, and that's that's one thing that I wanted to point
But
out.
this
Like
is
as as Comicsgate creators,
going to.
we have a you guys have a little bit of a different perspective than we do. Ayrton and I are simply customers. Like if I ever decided to do a book,
Right.
I'd probably have to hire a writer and an author and Cecil it up. But I'd have the concept, but I'd never pretend to be a creator on any scale.
No, we'll just throw a
Right.
typewriter and a monkey and let him hit the keys, and that'll lead the story.
But
Well, that's what Zach does. I mean, Zach himself isn't a writer. He gets a lot of other people to help him out with that stuff, right? So, but anyway, aside from that,
what?
it's not about the creators. It's the fans. Like, even as I'm here saying that I'm going to be a creator, I mean, I'm still a fan of everyone else's books, right? So when I'm here talking about this stuff now, I'm talking about it from what I want to see from other creators. And when I do get into that space where I'm putting out my own book, it's literally where the things that I had problems with are the things I'm going to try and correct in my own campaign. So
and let me say this too. Also, as a creator myself, I expect to be held. I expect my backers to right. I expect them to tell me what I could be doing right. I'm listening to what saying about how it came. I'm listening. I'm doing my best and to prepare to.
Speak up just a little bit louder into your mic. Your noise gate's cutting you off the last mouth.
Yeah, I was saying I expect to be held to the same standard that I'm espousing as well. So I say that creators should be as a creator myself. I expect to be held to the same fire if there's a complaint about what I'm doing and I'm not addressing the proper way. So I trust when I say if I see an issue,
Very simply, why wouldn't you put it in a quarter?
I expect to follow suit on that as a creator myself, or be held to the fire.
well, and on one hand, you actually don't get to make that choice. The fans will absolutely make it for you.
Oh, so I'm saying I expect it. So
yeah,
if you don't expect
exactly.
it, then you're in for a rude awakening.
Well, one thing that I've noticed is that one thing that I want to say, and this is not in any disrespect to any one person or any one group, or anything like that, but with the current state of CG and the disillusion that so many people have, no one is innocent. There's no group that is completely just innocent of any wrongdoing to get to the current situation we're in. Everybody had a hand in it. Not that anyone did anything wrong, but it all culminated to the idea that, hey, we all contributed to the shit show. Let's see where it pans out, right? The problem that I have though is that you end up with sycophant fans that solidify a creator in their, what's the word, gestalt, in their cojones, in their ability to.
Man, that's a 13-point word in Scrabble. Damn, you must have been studying.
No, I'm just at the right point at the cheap bourbon.
Okay, fair
but enough. There's just a there's a group of people out there that believe that certain creators can do nothing wrong, and that if you have anything bad to say about those creators, War Campaign used to be these people. But if you have anything bad to say about any of these creators, then you're the problem. You're anti-Comicsgate.
Yeah.
You're just being divisive. You're a Nazi, even to a certain degree.
Aren't we all?
Well, I can't.
Jawohl.
I follow the blood sports community on YouTube, so I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I can't actually sleep at night until someone calls me a Nazi. So
Yeah, it's really a curse. I haven't slept in like 4 days. Please,
Well, may you
somebody
sleep
convert
well
me to
tonight.
Hitler.
Yeah.
but you know, I
Hold on, I'll
think
be
that
right back. I'm gonna go shave my mustache.
I think that we need to stop allowing these creators to rest on their laurels. Like, yeah, sure, completed 3 campaigns, whatever. You still have to continue to hold up your end of the goddamn bargain.
Absolutely.
You don't just get a pass because you've done well so far. Nobody remembers 1,000 bridges you built. They remember the one you burned down.
Yep, 100%. And also,
Yeah.
you're only as good as your next book. Like, I don't even think you're as good as your last book. I think you're only as good as your next book. And the idea of having to sell your next project based on your last one, I think it's a bit of a it's a trap. It's a mindset that creators can't get into. Every campaign, every book has to be, we can't have filler issues. We can't do just these little things in between that keep people kind of nibbling at the bait. We need to have strong books, strong campaigns, translucent creators, and all creators must be trans. It's confirmed.
That's right.
And you know, if whenever you stop doing that, you're going to see it in your fan base. Like there is going to be a response every single time, and that is exactly what you know Lazmat was saying. You know you should expect the fans to have that criticism, but like you're saying, it's almost taboo to be able to criticize them, which is exactly what the mainstream had happen, right? It became where you weren't allowed to criticize them. You weren't allowed to say, "This is what we expect from you," and that's why we're all here. But I think
Well,
Comicsgate will continuously recorrect itself.
you know,
But
one
it's
of the
always
best.
going to be that.
Well, the
But
question is, who's doing the recorrect?
well, and
Creators, is it customers? Because that's where the divide is. The customer, and at the end of the day, it's a movement. So you have to get and blow up by creators because there's nothing wrong with PG. You're just part of a quote unquote whisper.
well, I
No
think.
whisper networks.
Wait, I'm drinking a milkshake right now. What are you talking about? But you know, one of the best examples that I can come up with, New 52 Batman. The first 4 trades of that run was a phenomenal Batman run, in my opinion. Court of Owls, you know, the extrapolation on the back history of Gotham, introducing a group of villains that not even Batman's money could defeat.
Mm.
You know, it was something
Hey, I
fresh.
enjoyed some of the early New 52 Green Lantern stuff.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
getting.
Green Lantern was really good. Green Arrow was really good for the
Well,
New
I'm getting
52. Swamp Thing started off really strong.
the reason that I
Oh,
use
sorry, you have
Batman
a larger
specifically
point.
though is because once
Mhm.
Tom King started writing Batman in Rebirth, we
Yeah.
took such a left field twist that turned Batman into a literal cuckold. And people didn't like that.
Mm.
You know, Batman getting left at the
Yep.
altar, that's not very Chadish. Like that's not Bruce Wayne Chad status. That is
Beta.
he's a beta male.
How did the greatest detective not see this coming?
Right. Like you didn't realize that it didn't fit because that venom filled dick was in there? Oh yeah. Um
There you go. Yeah.
but you know,
Oh my.
it's one of those things that Tom King started blockchaining people for. And there was legitimate criticism that he was blocking because he couldn't handle it. And you know,
Yeah.
that's kind of where we're at. Like there's a legion of people that
You mean
treat
because he's a beta?
that treat all of these people like, I mean, let's be completely honest here. If you criticize Ro or Gat Hanzo or anybody that works on Vestige, there's a group of people that will fuck with you for it. If you criticize Ethan Van
Oh yeah.
Sciver, John Malin, or Cecil, there's a group of people that'll fuck with you for it. They're different groups of people, but
Yeah.
the fans aren't innocent of this either. We're allowing these people to basically be bigger than they are. They're still just motherfuckers, just like us. They can
And,
fuck up.
and if you guys criticize us here on the gospel, our fans will just agree.
Yeah, basically.
Heck it on. So,
what do you expect? They're two drunk assholes. Like, of course they fuck up.
we have the best.
You don't say.
I love our audience.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like all these people. I said it a long time ago because Oz, I was on his show and he was like, "I have two rules: don't trash talk." He didn't say it quite like this, but I'm paraphrasing. Don't trash talk Zach and don't trash talk Ethan. And I had took that as don't criticize them. And so I had said to Oz at the time, I was just like, you can't put them on a pedestal like that, man. You know, they're just dudes. You know, like they went and did things exactly like so many other people have done. They're trying to figure out how to interact with this group that is their fan base and what is their market. And, you know, they're going to make mistakes as they go. And the fan base needs to be able to respond to that. You can't say, don't criticize these people, because everybody needs to be criticized. I mean, we all go through it. And some of it's not going to be beneficial. And everything that comes in front of you, you know, you look at it. If you need to adapt it to your life, you do so. If it's something that's trash, you get rid of it. And if it's something you don't know, you put it on the shelf. And later on, when you're ready to look at it, you take it off and examine it again. But
right,
we have to be allowed. I think what the problem is, people are too easily offended, and we need to be allowed to be offended.
That's it right there. People have egos and they can't take the criticism, so they get on the defensive. As soon as they hear any bit of criticism, whether it's the way you ship a book, whether it's refusing to refund, happening to a certain campaign right now, where they're refusing to honor refunds while the book is still being in campaign mode, right?
Yeah.
You know, they're not taking criticism. It's really hurting the look of the movement, and a lot of other creators who have no stake in this are being hurt because customers are closing their wallets. They're saying, you know what, CG is not for me. It's not what I thought it was, so my wallet is closed.
Well,
you know
and
what? Customers are being vocal of it.
That's one thing that I've actually kind of been worried about because I've been a little bit distracted during this whole COVID thing. I've been working a little bit more, and I've been kind of outside of the loop. But I keep seeing in my peripheral that what is it? It's Liam, right? Like, let's just call a spade a spade. It's Liam and it's Xenotype that's up in arms right now. Like, there's issues with him being able to bill. There's issues with him not refunding. He struck down a video of Testifies, and that's a cause of some. Like, I don't even know. Like, it could have been completely justifiable if Testify just ripped something straight from Liam and re-uploaded it as content. Sure, that's a copyright strike. Like, you can't do that. It has to be fair use.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
it's bullshit.
I mean, look,
there is a golden rule, but
there's also question. There's also a question about the titling of the video. I think there was a court case that was brought up where titling the video differently from its original form is a form of transformative content, and there's legal precedent. So if there is, then the copyright strike is bogus.
I think I know what you're talking
really?
about.
Yeah.
Well, no, I know what you're talking about, and the transformative wasn't just the title of the video, it was the title of the video and the fact that it was a clip video of the overall stream meant to make the person look foolish and not meant to appeal to the initial audience. And that very well could be it. I haven't seen the video because it got pulled down. Now, I don't agree with striking anything.
So nobody can do that to us because we look foolish no matter what.
Correct.
So
like as far as that
Okay.
whole situation goes,
Yes, please inform me.
yeah, Liam has taken off the copyright strike. To my understanding, he apologized for having actually done that.
Okay.
So, it's one of those things where it's like, and are you guys familiar with what's her name, Lucy Liu?
Oh
Who
yeah.
was yeah. So she was not pirating. She was copying
Susie Liu.
Naruto.
No, Susie Liu.
Thank you.
Watching
Thank
full
you.
I was gonna say
episodes and calling them.
Lou, like
Yeah, he's talking. Yeah,
Yeah,
but no, you're talking about
Lucy
her
Liu.
watching full episodes, putting
Yeah.
a 60% opacity filter on the video and calling
Yeah.
it a reaction.
oh
So
yeah,
there
that
does need to
bitch.
be a significant transformation. Otherwise, I mean, there is real world consequences for that stuff. And just
mean-
because we're not big like some Japanese anime.
What if she had filmed her reaction while in the kitchen making a sandwich with the same video?
Yeah,
I would watch that.
there had
I
to
would
be
down for that.
something. Yeah, I don't know. I guess she's cute enough, but the
If
What?
she was making a sandwich, she'd be cuter.
Now,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
why has no
These things
girl
compound.
gone on OnlyFans and done like a trad wife OnlyFans where it's just like her ironing shirts and making sandwiches and fully clothed, of course.
Dude,
You
$1
know.
million fucking
Yeah.
idea right there.
$1 million idea. Holy
Who
shit.
wants to be my trad wife OnlyFans? Bitch, I'll be your pimp. We'll get it set up for you. We split that shit 60-40.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
That's where it's at. Yeah.
All right. Get a wig
give
and
me-
put on a dress band.
Somebody get Man of Sex on the line. I need Gina for this.
Yeah. Fuck, my hair's
Hey,
long enough. If I shave my
boys.
beard off and put on some makeup and a dress, I get, as long as they see me from the back.
No, Ayrton, you don't understand. Gina and Man of Sex are the same person. It's just a wig and some makeup. And there is
See, but I
facial
don't
hair
even need the
involved.
wig. I got the hair.
So does he.
My hair is luscious. Come
We
on,
already-
you've seen it.
We already have a customer. Danielle will sign up.
Right. I think Danielle's volunteering to be the
There we go.
trad wife.
Oh, perfect.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Bonus.
Is that what you mean by that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Is she there in the background?
Yeah, she is.
Yes.
She's in the chat and in the background. Oh, hello.
It's not a complete sausage
But
fest.
yeah.
Rick Piper, you talk too much.
She's typing questions in the chat.
I don't want to interrupt stream. I'm not a panelist tonight. Thank you.
She's a good trad wife. She's best seen and not heard.
Ooh.
That's a fair point.
Oh.
and seen by you and not anybody else.
But no, I just getting back to main point, like Comicsgate as a whole. Honestly, in my opinion, and this is the unpopular opinion, but to me, CG died when it started being gatekept. When the copyright came into question, when Doug TenNapel and Mike Miller got kicked out, when War Campaign got kicked out, like that was the three strikes. It's a customer movement that the customers at this point have no control over. I mean, honestly, I can't.
I think they're.
I can't go to Ethan Van Sciver, John Malin, Cecil, even Anna, and say, "Hey, you're not Comicsgate." Except in my personal opinion, the movement itself is controlled by the people who make the most money, just like it was in Gamergate.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
and that's where my problem comes in, because I don't think the indie comics movement is dead by a long shot. I think that Comicsgate made the way for something that is much bigger than Comicsgate could ever be. I think,
and again, we predicted this like at least 8 months, if not a year ago, having the same exact conversation with possibly just us, different people. I don't remember, but this, you could see the light at the end of the tunnel that this was going to happen. I don't know why anyone's surprised.
I don't think anybody's surprised. I
It
think it's more.
sucks.
I think it's more disillusionment and just heartbreak more than anything else.
That's fair.
To me, like, do you guys like? If you guys have a second, I will lament. When CG first started up and Ethan Van Sciver finally jumped on board, because in the beginning, for those that don't remember, it was your boy Zach that
Yeah.
was the catalyst to all of this stuff. And when CG started up,
Yeah, it was just him, right?
well, it was just
From
him.
what I
I
remember.
mean, and then the hashtag started up, and then like creators that had never gotten a chance in the industry were the first ones to start filtering in, right? And they didn't have huge campaigns, but it was fresh and it was new, and it was just like the same kind of energy that you got with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Eastman and Laird spent a tax return to get that book printed, and
Right.
crowdfunding for these
Yeah.
smaller guys, it was the same amount of money based on inflation that they were raising. It was 5-10 grand at most, right? Like there weren't big campaigns back then unless you were somebody with a huge following. But it was that same
Right.
kind of energy. It was that same kind of gritty, bottom of the barrel. This is what we could
Weird.
afford to put together. It's new, it's fresh. Check it out. It was that kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
And now it
Right.
just it's too, like, I don't want to say it's too polished because I know a lot of people love Cyberfrog. But the quality of Cyberfrog is the same kind of quality that we should be getting from Marvel and DC. And that's not a bad thing, but you can do anything with $2 million.
Well, it's like
Would we get
it's something we always.
would the same
Well,
quality
it's
of
like one thing we
Cyberfrog come
always.
out of 50 grand? That's the question there. But yeah, go ahead, Ayrton. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Well, it's one of the things we always just kind of differ on a little bit. Is I love like bad comic books, bad movies,
Well,
like that are
I'm not saying
really horrible,
bad.
but not on purpose. But well, hold on, that are are bad in the way that the people just don't know what they're doing, so it has a certain charm to it. Like you can tell they really cared and like took
I
this seriously.
that
The
we don't
lettering might be
differ on
off.
that. You just like shit books that look like shit too. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 through 5, they look like
well,
crap.
hold
Like
on.
objectively, they
Well, hold
look
on.
like crap,
Like
but they're great
okay.
books.
Well, remember Flying Fortress? The first like what third of that book? It did not look good. We
Who
talked about
recommended
that
that book
on
to
the
you?
show.
Who recommended that book to you?
I'm just saying, but I'm pretty sure I enjoyed it more than you did.
I don't think so. I enjoyed
If
the
I
premise
remember
of it.
correctly.
You might have enjoyed the artwork, but I enjoyed the story the artwork told. Like I was the one that brought
Okay.
up the point
Anyways,
that you saw the evolution of the artistry over the course of the issues.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned that too
Might have
when we were
agreed with
talking
me.
about it. Anyways, doesn't matter. Not my point. My point is
3 guests on the show, and the
even
host
if
and co-host are yelling at each other.
my
we don't want to
point
interrupt
my point
your part of
is it doesn't have to be the Cyberfrog level. Like people are still going to enjoy it because they can see the passion behind it.
Right.
Even though yes, I like much worse books than you do.
Well,
And I'll give a little bit more leeway to stuff if it's interesting enough.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be this big massive thing where there's like an auto suck function on the book because you spent so much money on it.
Oh no, I would
Like,
definitely
if you
spend
gotta
more
go a
money
little
on
bit
that function.
Well, that's because you're married with 3 kids.
Shut up. Anyway, no, I want to harken back to the point that the first campaign that I praised during this entire stream was Knuckle Supper Studios and Tales from Nerosville, which delivered 3 issues with a bonus misprint issue, all of which were signed, some of which came with original art. $11 shipped to your door. That was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all over again.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, definitely good.
Airballs and
deal.
Doug, I think were their names.
But Lightning Doug.
Yeah,
Lightning
was
Doug,
his name.
yes.
But
yeah,
remember,
I do Lightning Doug on my channel one day. I
Yeah.
actually had him on too.
Well, have you sold that
But-
piece yet?
remember, like,
No,
DM me how much you want for it. I'll send you some money over PayPal.
but I'll send you more money over PayPal.
He will.
But just so Church can't have it because I'm an asshole.
He'll
But,
send it to me for
you know,
Christmas. I'll let him pay
objectively,
for it.
But if you look at those books objectively, like the writing's kind of clunky, the art's not the greatest, it's passable, but they were so enjoyable because you could feel and you could see, like, you know, he actually cares about this universe that he's creating.
All right.
You know, just like a really bad B movie that's,
I think
you know, trying hard.
as good host, we need to let the panel get back in. So we'll start at the top.
We do.
Matt, your thoughts
we'll
on our
start yelling at each other later.
Yeah, your thoughts on where we are so far in this rant. I think Elasmat's dead.
Uh-oh.
Rick, what are your
Elasmat.
thoughts while Elasmat revives himself?
Oh, my thoughts on CG.
On this particular point, like, I mean, not in no way, shape, or form to be offensive, but your comic kind of qualifies under that same banner of little less polished, but very much passionate. I mean, would you agree with that?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I can agree with that wholeheartedly. I'm nowhere near the caliber of Ethan for drawing. You know, I can admit that easily and freely. And even if beat up a little bit by John, it doesn't come up to that quality. You know.
Right.
Yeah, but you know, most struggling artists probably aren't of that quality. You know, I'm a struggling artist.
Yeah.
Um,
And, you know, who knows, in 26 years, you may be there again, right? Like, you may be there.
Yeah. Who knows?
There we go.
Although, you know, I've probably been working on my art for that long, but I haven't. Unfortunately, in my circle, I'm the best artist that most people know. So unfortunately, you know, you get your head a little bit full, and then you get in this community, and then I'm like, you know, a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah. And
cross comics, if you need like artists, there are so many people in Comicsgate that are looking to collaborate and work together on stuff. There really is a lot of people to network with in order to get
you can
get
get
a good product.
better than Dillard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my biggest thing's always been money. So, you know.
Rick is a very pious man.
Let me see your profile
I'm lucky
shot,
to have
Rick.
two nickels to rub together most of the time. But, you know, like, yeah, that's my goal to, you know, employ artists. You know, like, I have like 7 characters that I want to continuously be having out monthly books. You know, I want to employ artists, inkers, you know, all that stuff. That's been my goal for 30 years.
Well, before we get too far off on that tangent, Smiling, what do you think about the statement that I made as far as you know, when Comicsgate first started, it was more exciting. I think would be the generalization.
I wasn't here at the beginning of Comicsgate. I actually was. So I was actually back in 2016 trying to produce a comic, get something out there, that kind of thing. But at that time, the scene was on Kickstarter, and the people that were around me were all a little bit more leftist than myself. And so the people that I was working with would have been, well, are anti-Comicsgate.
I think
And
I think
so
Smiling
my-
Bandito is just describing all of our lives. The people around us are a lot more
Yeah,
leftist than we are.
Oh, yeah. So my introduction to Comicsgate was from my colorist feeling like she had to have bodyguards when she went to the expo or the Comic-Con convention that we have here. So
I mean, I
and
can guard
my
her body.
yeah, she's a cutie, that's for certain.
Motherfucker, motherfucker,
so-
you can't guard a fucking wet paper bag. Shut the hell up. Maybe your shotgun
so
can guard some shit,
my-
but you?
I don't have a shotgun. I got a Walther PPK. I'm James Bonding that shit. I'm classy as fuck, motherfucker.
Golden gun. You got to paint it gold
And-
with some spray paint.
And
Okay.
so Chad Milton actually hit it right on the head when The Last Jedi came out. I remember walking out of that theater and being like, "What the fuck was that?" And I looked up other people that were thinking the same, and it went through Nerderotic to Anna to Ethan.
Oh man,
And-
you
no,
skipped
sorry, it was
over
Jeremy
quartering?
to Nerd. Yeah, it was.
Imagine
Sorry, it
my
was
shock.
Jeremy.
You lucky bitch! You
was
skipped over
Jeremy.
the quartering.
I know. I found the quartering much later.
Okay, so you're not
But
that
yeah,
much of a
so-
lucky bitch.
And you're probably still listening to his same first video because you didn't put it on 2 times speed to get through it fast.
Well, guys,
What I said to get back to your point,
I swear, that
what
guy
I
has
said-
ether pumped through his air conditioning unit. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. To get back to your point, when I saw Ethan, he was in the middle of not fulfilling, and everybody was talking about how late the book was and all this kind of stuff. And coming from Kickstarter, I still have like 10 books from 2016 that haven't come through, and
you haven't charged him back
so
yet?
I saw. No, I don't know. It's money that's gone now. It was investment into I made history in their bank account.
Yeah,
But
your back hole got
so
opened.
yeah, and so I think I backed like 50 books in Kickstarter that year, and at least 10 of them I think didn't come through.
Shit, I'm gonna
But,
send you a link for my
so
trad
when I
wife
came into
OnlyFans
Comicsgate-
deep pockets.
Are you able to trust any fart after being raped that hard?
Well, I think it's like anything. After a while, you just don't feel it anymore. You become numb to it all.
That's fair. Just no more Taco Bell after a late night of drinking is what you're telling me.
Yeah. It burns. It burns.
Get those hot rings.
Yeah, just to feel something.
Haven't used the soundboard in a while, boys.
We haven't used that.
You got to
one
take
in
it out for a
while.
stretch every now and then.
Anyway, sorry, continue. I apologize for, trash talking your asshole for that
No.
long, but it was hilarious.
You're not the first one.
Hey, I've been in the War Campaign Discord,
So
I
when
know.
found, yeah.
How dare you?
Thank you, Greta.
So when I found Ethan, I was already leery about backing a campaign that wasn't fulfilling. So I waited until he said the book was done, and that's
Yeah.
when I backed it. And
Yeah.
but when I got the book, the thing was, all throughout that time, watching everyone's YouTube channel, and it was fun, right? And the first time that I was ever on anyone's YouTube stream, I went on to just be like, you know what? You made comic books exciting again. What ended up coming out was, I love you, man. I'm just so happy that I get to be here and hang out with everybody. And
Well, I mean,
anyway,
in the beginning,
I wasn't quite as eloquent.
in the beginning, it was like that. Like in the beginning, it was almost like comic book Woodstock.
Exactly.
And it just
Yeah.
slowly devolved into like World War II in comics, like War Campaign and CG Dynamite as they call it. Like, I don't know,
Well,
man.
and I think what ended up happening was, one, we had some big dramatic hits with Doug and Mike and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But two, the fans became less charitable, and the creators were significantly less charitable towards each other. And
like so many
I think
people
a lot of the
built their
problems that we have.
platforms. Well, so many people built their platforms on what we do on this show without hesitation. Like, I've had Thomas Royal up on this fucking show. I don't like that guy. But he had a book he wanted to fucking promote, and that's what we do here.
Yeah.
And we're not going to tell somebody, no, you can't come on and promote your book because I don't agree with what you think. You're not a shithead to me. So we're cool.
Yeah.
I don't care who else you dislike. That's their problem. They can deal with you appropriately. Until you shit on me, I have no problem with you.
Well, and when
Unless
War
you like
Campaign,
pineapple on your pizza, then you can't come on this show.
Nope. I mean, I'm fine with those people too. They're just wrong.
They're just wrong. Well,
Yeah,
Hawaiian
I
pizza.
agree with that, Church.
I mean, I just ordered
Hawaiian
pizza
is an Italian food.
Weekend.
Is it?
Hawaiian pizza is an Italian food with.
Actually, Hawaiian pizza is a Canadian food. It was invented here.
I know. Just let me finish. Let me finish the sentence, and you'll hear the whole thing.
Okay.
It's called a joke, Rick.
Hawaiian pizza. Yeah.
Okay.
Hawaiian pizza is a Italian food made by island dwellers, with island dwellers fruit on it, made in Canada. I mean, what can possibly go wrong?
Well, I mean, same thing with the Australian beer that made in Canada. Foster's, Australian for beer, was originally brewed and manufactured in Canada.
It's made by Molson now, isn't it?
Coors.
Yeah.
I think Molson.
Molson brews Foster's.
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe it's Coors.
Well, the Coors plant owns Foster's.
Okay, so it's Coors.
Fuck there. Hey, Rick, you got a nice Molson muscle going there, bud.
Also,
we
do you
can
know
pick up a 2-4 and just take it on the way back home?
You know, you can get a 6-pack of Yingling in Florida for $5 with no tax.
Is it worth
why
it though?
Why do all 6 of them have the same name? I'm confused by that.
Ayrton, get out. You're fired.
It's just for convenience.
I hate you so much.
So I think when it comes back to Comicsgate, we'll bring it back to the topic here.
Thank you for getting us back on track.
Because
I like how the guest circle is back on topic. That's my favorite thing about this show. Sorry.
We do know that everyone that's in this community is just it's just people. Like, we know that we make mistakes. We know that we put ourselves out there a little too far. We know that failures are going to happen. And I think what ended up happening with the failures that happened is that we weren't charitable enough to the ones we should have been, and we weren't hard enough on the ones that we should have been more diligent on. Like, you look at Mitch Brettweiser. You look at
that guy
Prettiest,
fucked up royally. Anybody that doesn't know, Mitch Brettweiser, the author or artist or somebody, the creator of Red Rooster, the guy that ran that campaign, his book ended up in Walmart in pieces before he even shipped out to his backers.
Well, and they still haven't received the full book.
Yeah, we've got pieces of the digital version. I've got 2 pieces of the digital version.
Yeah, but you can buy issue 3 in Walmart right now.
That guy had too long of a leash.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Mitch Brettweiser, I would say that guy had too long of a leash. He got away with too much for too long of a time. I never backed his book because it looked like the writing was on the wall to me, right? Coming from Kickstarter and already having all those failed campaigns. Or unfulfilled campaigns.
Right.
But so when Mitch was doing his spiel and he wasn't actually interacting with the fans all that much, I was just like, yeah, I can see where this is going. And the fact that he was chasing after Walmart, I was just like, he doesn't even care. I was super new back then, so I mean, I wasn't going to say anything. But as it played out, I was just like, that's it. That's kind of how it goes. I mean, you look at where his focus was. He wasn't focused on the fans. So that guy had too much of a leash. I think Comicsgate shouldn't have been so charitable towards him over the last year. Whereas you look at Liam. This guy, his colorist is on every single day.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody that really should have a problem with Scotsman.
No,
I know
Scotsman's
that
a
he
shit.
kind of.
I love Scotsman.
Yeah. So he's
I thought you
online
meant
every single
Scotsman
day.
as the people. My bad.
Yeah.
No. Scotsman is the colorist for Xenotype. I don't think the book's not
Right,
coming
okay.
out unless somehow
Mhm.
because I think the work's being done, but I'm worried about
Yeah.
the quality of the final product if people start to refund and there's been some question like
Well,
Liam
we
himself has
know.
pointed out that he's spending money and he's worried that people are going to think
Mhm.
it's going to come from the campaign, and some people might worry that that's projection. I
Yeah.
don't personally, but
So,
I mean,
but I look at the way that Liam is handling, because he's not delayed, right? Like it's still
no,
on
he's
time as
still
far
on
as I
track
know.
so far. Like he hasn't been late
Okay.
yet. I
So
think that's the problem. I think that's the
right.
thing.
Allegedly.
Right. It's
So
not
I look at
delayed.
that
It's still
situation.
on track, supposedly.
hmm So I look at that situation
That's
where
what they
we
say.
are seeing the pages. Liam is on stream all the time, willing to talk about it, willing to answer questions. He says that there isn't any funding problems currently, until there's actually a reason. I feel like we can be more charitable to that situation, as opposed to what we did with Mitch Brettweiser, which was the guy got way too much leash, right?
Yeah.
So I think we do need to look at our situations and say, okay, where can we as the fans be charitable? Where can we say, hey, we want to support this, we want to make sure it's moving forward? I look at the projects that aren't late yet, and I'm totally willing to give them as much leeway as possible. Bancroft is another one where I'm just like, this guy's so far ahead. He's actually already working on the next book because of how far ahead he is. He is just doing a few touch-ups on the pages. Pages are pretty much 100% done. It's just that he's now a better artist, so he's going back through the pages and doing more with them based upon his skill set now. And he's online every single day, and he's willing to talk about his project every single day.
Right.
We can be charitable towards those projects, even though he's a brand new creator, untested, right? We don't know 100% about his fulfillment and that type of stuff, but we need to find the reasons as to what justifies us being charitable in this community. And I think if we allow for those things to be more prominent, we'll have fewer problems down the road. That's my take on the problems that we're having now. So because comics have become less, or the community in general has become a little bit less fun because we see the creators doing what they're doing,
Right.
we need to find reasons, like we need to actually find justifiable reasons in order to back the creators that we see as being worth backing,
Yeah,
as
and
opposed to just being like,
that's kind of the mentality that I've taken recently. Like the campaigns that I back are, but like I've recently opened up about being a firm backer of Doug Naples. It used to be kind of taboo to talk about that in CG because he was
mhm,
quote unquote
mhm,
kicked out. But
Don't talk
yeah,
about the worm.
every single book that he's put out, I've backed because you know what?
Mhm.
You get a quality goddamn product when you back Doug to Naples. You get more than your money's worth every time you get a box from Doug to Naples.
Hmm.
I mean, the books you get from that man would cost you $100 from Marvel or DC. Just the book.
Really?
If
When was the last
Probably
time
be
you
more.
bought a hardcover comic book that was more than 100 pages?
I said it'd probably be more.
When was, no,
Hmm.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Bandito. When was the last time you bought a hardcover trade?
So I bought Samurai not too long ago,
Okay,
and that was $65, I think,
that was
or
$65.
$75 Canadian.
Okay.
Yeah,
Doug to Naples book, I
yeah.
believe, translated
But
to about 45
Did
Canadian
they
for
use a
just the book.
condom?
okay,
I mean, maybe you had to pay a little more in shipping, but that was shipping, and you would have had to pay that for Samurai if you had bought it on. So you can't really
yeah,
hold that against it.
definitely.
But you got a gold foil
Mhm.
book, you got a preview comic book, you got a fucking pack of trading cards, you got some other shit just with Bigfoot Bill. And then when Earthworm Jim came out, you got a Bigfoot Bill 2 preview comic, you got 2 packs of trading cards and a foil pack of trading cards. You got a blockhead figurine, you got like 3 prints, you got a double-sided poster. I mean, just for backing the $35 American book. And all of his campaigns cost the same.
Well,
Like the
mhm.
money that you put into that
Which comes to
campaign goes.
about 7 maple syrups and 3 moose in Canadian.
Well, the money you put into the Bigfoot Bill or Earthworm Jim or one of those campaigns goes into the book. You can see it on the foil printing. You can see it on the clear coats. You can see it on the
Yeah,
interior arts. There was a glow in the dark Earthworm Jim on a page just randomly because there could be that I left open and let get
Why
soaked
not?
by sunlight to look at in the dark because I'm that kind of nerd. I mean, I
It's there.
appreciate
I mean, you might as
I
well
would
use it.
too.
I appreciate that level of craftsmanship in a polished product. But
Yeah, yeah.
how many books like Xenotype? Xenotype, I think I paid after shipping over $100 for it. That is the most I have ever paid for
Yeah,
an
it's
individual
inexpensive.
tier on a comic book because I didn't want the manga version that was a little cheaper. I'm a comic book fan.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead,
But
whoever.
so when it comes
Yeah.
to this type of stuff, yeah, when it comes to this type of stuff, when War Campaign, because they were kind of the first to feel or to voice how jilted they felt about unfulfilled campaigns, and they said, you know what, the only thing that we can do about this is just not back creators who haven't fulfilled before, or not promote creators that have not fulfilled before.
Right.
And then Ethan kind of got on that train as well.
And
And I've always
to
disagreed with
be
that.
well,
I
to be
think
fair,
I think
that's
every project.
what spawned this type of show. Like once that came into effect, I was
Hmm.
already doing a show where we were talking about old comic books. But as
Hmm.
soon as that kind of mandate came down over the general CG, I looked at Ayrton off air and I was like, if they have a book and they want to come on to promote it to the 4 to 10 people that might be in the audience over the course of the night, I'm going to let them do that because somebody else might not, and at least they'll have a link to point somebody to where they can be on talking about their book for an hour or so.
Hmm.
That was
Well, I
the
think
whole
every
point.
project deserves to be looked at.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that it's the
I think every
customer's
project
decision,
deserves to be looked at. It's up to creator. Yeah, it's up to the
and
creator to show that it deserves to be back.
there's only about 10 minutes left in our regular show time. Lasmat, are you alive or are you just in the Discord and dead? I think Lasmat died.
I know. I think he said he had to go after like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know
he
how
said
long.
that an
R.I.P.
hour
Well,
ago.
Yeah.
yeah. So
I'm gonna pull him
I
into the
get
waiting room.
everything he did.
I'm gonna pull him into the waiting room out of
I was gonna
posterity's sake. But no,
I really I really like Al Azamat's book. It has that
Yeah.
same feel as like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja
That
Turtles.
that feel that I was
kind of
talking
stuff.
about.
And I'm really looking forward to see how that that IP continues to develop, especially issue after issue after issue.
Yeah.
It's I think it's got a lot of potential. Yeah.
But
First
off, I want to thank Alasmat, you, Bandito, and Mr. Rip Piper of Cross Comics for coming on the show. And I want to finish off the show with a final question.
Well, hold on. Oh, before we do that, real quick.
Okay.
I want to ask you. So clearly I saw your text. So you enjoyed that cigar?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I'm still smoking it.
Give me just a quick feedback.
Of what?
What'd you think? Like overall, like too strong? What kind of like taste did you get out of it?
Oh no, it's absolutely perfect to it's absolutely perfect to match with a harsh bourbon, which you think about like a Jack Daniels or a McKenna Henry or a Benchmark or a Kentucky Gentleman, a harsh lower or mid-level whiskey. Like you don't want to like you would want to spend more money on a cigar and more money on whiskey to pair together. But at a $10 price point standard online, the Black Label Salvation cigar matches well with a $10 to $25 bottle of whiskey. And I have about an inch and a half
I
left
compare
of
it with even better stuff, but
I'm saying for who I am as a human being and who most blue collar people are, a Black Label Salvation cigar matches well with the amount of whiskey you'll be able to afford after you put groceries in your refrigerator and gas in your car and have paid the week's bills out of your paycheck. For $25, you can have a decent Saturday night.
That's a good deal.
Well, so I'm just gonna say, August 21st and 22nd, there will be an event with Black Label Trading Company up here in Michigan. If anybody listening or who comes across this or on the panel happens to be in Michigan and is interested in this event, DM me on Twitter, and I will give you all of the details. It should be a good time.
If you're going to this event and you get more cigars, my birthday is August 22nd.
I'm hosting this event, motherfucker.
Well, my birthday is August 22nd. I'm going to need some more of these salvations in the mail by the 24th. What I'm saying.
All right. I can get you some more. They have plenty of other cigars. I'll get you some more of those.
I have smoked 6 individual types of cigars in my life, 2 of which you sent me. And this one is by far my favorite. Because I'm a creature of habit. I find something I like and I smoke it until it's, not available, and then I find something else.
Oh.
So.
Oh yeah, the Salvation. That's one of my personal go-to cigars is the Salvation. It's a fantastic cigar. I can't talk highly enough about it. Let's see. Let me pull my notes up real quick. So the Salvation is a Ecuadorian sun-grown wrapper, a Honduran binder, and a Nicaraguan filler with your overall notes of charred wood, spices, some slight dark chocolate, and kind of like a smoky sweetness.
Well, this is the kind of cigar that I would.
If you like cigars, and that sounds.
This is the kind of cigar that I would. This is the kind of cigar that I would smoke with a Scotch or a bourbon. I'm sure there's something better at a higher tier if you're spending, more than $50 on your liquor. But in the $20 to $30 range, this is a perfect cigar. Anyway, back to comic books. Also, Black Label. I expect my check in the mail.
I just wanted to tie on that.
I expect my check in the mail from Black Label within the week. Yes, my check. my goddamn channel. Nobody paid me for this fucking sponsorship yet, Eric.
That's
Well, I
right.
guess you sending me the cigar did. Fuck you.
Exactly.
Motherfucker sent me a portable
Don't worry,
humidor that
I'll
infatuates me too.
I'll send you some more cigars. Don't worry.
But anyway,
You'll get
back
one
to
of the
comic
limited
books.
releases that I have one box of.
What I'm going to close out the show with is a question that we're asking every creator or would-be creator that comes on the show, and we're going to go in the order of Rick and then Bandito. So, Rick, you're a writer/artist, so the question is doubly open to you. If any mainstream comic publisher came to you with a blank check and an opportunity to write any property they controlled, what are you writing and or drawing?
Probably Spider-Man or Green Lantern, with Kyle Rayner as the main lantern.
Okay. All right. Why?
Kyle Rayner is my favorite Green Lantern, and for him, I think they're just the heroes that I like the best. You know, they're in my top 5, maybe my top 2 is saying that now. You know, I a lot of times say I live the Peter Parker life. You know, anything that can go wrong.
Okay.
You know, I feel I'm connected to Spider-Man, and you know, connection to Kyle Rayner being the artist and all that.
Rick Piper once again proving why he is one of the great friends of the show. He picked the same answer I would. Bandito, the question moves to you. Same question. Write or draw. You have a blank check to do character.
Well, nobody wants me drawing, so to write, it would be Conan the Barbarian and Red Sonja. I would, you know, those two. I feel like they're just a couple of crazy kids.
Versions of those characters.
Yeah, it would work, right? We can make that work.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Yeah, but no, I think they're just a couple of crazy kids that never quite got the shot that they needed, and Conan the Barbarian and Red Sonja would be, I think. I don't understand why there's not more books about them out there, other than the fact
Marvel
that
just
they
revived
are probably the most
Conan, right? And Red Sonja has been a constant Dynamite character.
So bad. Yeah. And I guess that's why, actually, is because right now the IPs are not in the same company.
Right. Okay, so
but yeah,
you would do a Dynamite Marvel crossover with Conan and Red Sonja.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. That's the first time we've heard that on the show. Well, gentlemen, I definitely want to thank everybody for coming on. Elasmat, if you're watching this on the replay, we definitely appreciate your input earlier. I welcome all of you guys back on the show at any time.
I DM'd him. He hasn't responded yet, so I'm assuming he's dead.
Okay. Well, we hope you we hope you revive and are able to watch the replay. And everybody else, everybody, welcome back. Yep. We love having guests on, even if it's just a bullshit about what we're talking about. And thank you to the chat. Check the links down in the description to support the show, all of that good stuff. Ayrton, plug your channel.
I will. Look out for the next few days. Ayrton McCartney on YouTube. I got some cool shit working on tonight, so I'm excited about it. Hence why Neil's sitting in the background. I need her voice and her flute. So hopefully this works.
Rick Piper, plug where they can find you, sir.
People can find me here on YouTube, Cross Comics, or on Twitter, Instagram, Cross Comics, Parlor, Cross Comics. I'm everywhere. Cross Comics.
And Mr. Bandito, you, sir.
My name is Michael Sherwood, Smiling Bandito, wherever social media reaches. And
apparently Discord sucks. Sorry, Bandito. Hold on a second. I was going to post this link to I'll forward it to Church and we'll get it in the description. My bad.
Okay. Cheers. I have
Big pain in my ass.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I can put it in the chat. It just won't have the actual link. Everyone will have to copy.
Yeah,
put it in the Discord chat.
Show suggestions.
Okay,
And
well, I got it.
The show suggestions or live show chat, one of the two.
All right, here we go.
Gotcha.
Here we go. I got it. I got it out of the chat.
Perfect. But yeah, that's my email list for my upcoming book, Black as Hell. It features basically Peter Pan if they became cannibals and Peter decided that he didn't want to hang out with them anymore. But even after running away, Wendy had to decides to go out and find him. So
okay,
I like that.
Yeah,
that's what.
Believe it or not, I've been reading Weapon Brown lately, and it's a fantastic view inside the mind of an SJW. There is so much misogyny, rape, and sexism in this book. Like, I mean, there's just murder, misogyny, rape, lack of empathy.
Yeah, I need to sue them for life rights.
Oh yeah, dude.
My kind of book.
Well, within 20 pages, Jason Youngblood.
Rackets and ask him.
Within 20 minutes, Jason Youngblood depicts Charlie Brown as backhanding Peppermint Patty as a form of saying hello.
Hey, babe.
Is that not what you do?
No, it's not.
Just remember, the palm is abuse, backhand discipline.
There you go.
I disavow.
Oh, I gotta go, guys.
All right,
thank you very much.
Yes, I understand why you have to go. Hopefully, you can come back. Thanks for coming on, Bandito. He's already gone. I understand why. God damn it, Ayrton. I hate you so much.
What was that?
I said he's already.
I know.
I hate you so.
Really love him.
All right. What's your Twitter, Rick Piper? Cross Comics? Cross_comics?
Yeah, Cross Comics.
I'm sure this is fascinating for everybody. I'm trying to edit the description so I don't have to go back and do it once the video posts. So I'm going to need you guys to vamp for a while or whatever.
Yeah.
Ayrton, chill cigars
Rick,
some more or
how's
whatever.
it going with that?
What was that, Ayrton?
So Rick, so what's going on? Like, where are you at with the process with Indiegogo trying to actually get the money for them? Like, what's going on with that? If you could talk about
well, for the past, I can. I don't care whether they care or not. Like for the past 2 or 3 months, we've been going back and. First of all, they have no phone number that you can call them to get any of this things done easier.
Yeah, no, you have to do it all online. Also, real quick, Rick Piper, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I have a very important message from a very important person. Ayrton.
You're fired.
What?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. That's a throwback for
Don't
Chad.
laugh so much in the background, goddammit.
Put your fucking burqa on.
Well, no, see, that's the problem.
I need one.
I started a new religion. I'm sorry, Rick. I'll let you continue after this. So it's called fuck. What's it called?
Yes, Dillard, get in here.
Mulsi. So Mulsi, which is Islam backwards, basically means you have to eat pork for every single meal. You face west and don't pray 5 times a day, and women are not allowed to wear clothes. That's my new religion.
Okay.
If you guys want to join, DM me on Twitter.
I'm
right.
breaking it.
Yes, you are breaking the religion, but you haven't officially joined.
I would say get a room, but I know you're at your house. So.
They already got several rooms then.
What is Allah backwards? Allah? Holla.
Holla back, girl!
Holla.
Holla back now, y'all.
Yes, do that again.
Where's your
That was
holla?
fantastic. I hate you so
Wait,
much.
me?
Yes. Yes, where are you
Sorry.
at?
Okay.
Where are you at, Dillard? Get your ass in here. You need to save the show. I'm trying to edit the description. These people are ruining it.
I mean, the show's over at this point.
No, it's not. Dillard's coming on. We have more viewers than we've had all night right now.
God damn it!
I'm bad at being quiet.
Hey, well, there's something
See, that's the
that's
problem.
going to be happening.
If
That's going to be
if
happening.
the show keeps going, we're going to keep drinking, and we're not going to be able to record anything tonight. It's going to defeat the entire purpose.
No, it'll be great. I'll get you to play and Danielle to sing "Born to Die" on the show. It'll be great.
Well, that's
Do you
what
know
we're
what
working
my drunk
on.
singing sounds like?
Yeah, it's her
I
drunk
don't, but I
singing's
hope to
horrible.
find out.
Her
It sounds like an Irish going oora oora oora.
Perfect. I'm pretty sure the chat can masturbate to that. I mean, I'm sure they'll love that.
I mean, I can move the microphone and grab my guitar. I can make this happen.
Ooh, we won't get the right layering.
Oh.
Shut up. That no one knows what.
Well, another project me and Dillard and a bunch of people are working on. We're going to be doing a Halloween comic book.
Okay.
Not comic book.
Hell yeah.
Coloring book.
Fuck
Coloring
yeah.
book.
Oh, a Halloween coloring book? That's
Not comic book,
fantastic.
coloring book. Yeah.
I'll invest in that.
It's gonna should be going up in the next few days, and it's gonna run for 30 days.
Yeah.
So
Are you going to be including the crayons?
no.
Crayons are like
Oh, is that a stretch goal? That's a stretch goal.
Yeah. Like the 64-pack with the sharpener on it?
Offensively named crayons is a stretch goal. Like,
if you had the sharpener.
yeah. Like red will be Indian red.
You're actually picking up on that. Put some water.
So yeah, we hope to have it done before campaign done before the first of funded before the 1st of October, and be sending it out so everybody gets
By
it
Halloween.
sometime in October. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be good. I'd buy one for my kids. Yeah, do crayons as a stretch goal. I can totally hook you up with a good price on some crayons, so you can probably order them just in case or whatever. But yeah, a 4-pack of crayons with offensively named colors would be perfect. I mean, kids aren't going to get it, and the adults will all chuckle. So. Or we could Comicsgate theme them.
Fucking waiting room. I'm gonna move it.
Like Kelsey Shannon White.
What's up, Dillard?
Up, I got a dab for Dillard. Dab. Speak, you motherfucker. You want it on? We stayed on so you could come on. Son of a bitch.
God damn it, Dillard. Put your fucking eggs down and answer us. You fuck.
Hold on.
This isn't exactly what we were looking for, John.
Dillard, are you there? Can you hear us?
Dillard.
Can't hear you if you're speaking, sir.
Put a Mexican curse on you.
I'm having a very fantastic time here, John.
Hate everything about this.
I told you not to drink too much because we have work to do.
No!
That's for you, Dillard. You're Matt.
Dillard, get a fucking mic stand so you don't have to sit there and like hold your mic up to your face so we can hear you.
We're losing viewers.
Excellent.
If we get down
We are
below,
losing viewers.
Dillard, you fucked it up.
Well, you have to subtract it. You have to subtract at least one because Danielle has the stream up on her phone, so she can look at the chat.
No, I'm not. I'm not subtracting shit.
Hey,
She's a viewer.
I've got it open.
Shut up. Shut up. These are all organic.
I've got it.
Fuck all of you.
I'm legitimate. I'm not in Discord.
Dillard, I'm sending a gypsy your way just to put a curse on you.
That's right.
Me?
That's right. Instead of thinner, it's fatter.
You're not Romanian.
Oh, he's gone again.
That you know of.
He's gone again. Yeah. Disconnected.
You also
Okay.
don't have to be Romanian to be a gypsy.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
You don't.
This is getting into like drunk stream territory. We need to pull the plug on this.
No, it's been too long since we did a drunk stream. We can go for another 10 or 15 minutes, see if Dillard comes back.
But
I'm good.
no,
I'm good. I'm not drunk.
Quiet, woman. Go put on your goddamn burqa.
It's been like 3 weeks for us to get our schedules right so we can record these goddamn songs.
I know.
You are not good. We are not doing a drunk stream, goddammit.
Well, tell me how to live my fucking life. Actually, it's my turn. It's my turn to shill. In case Dillard doesn't come back. I have to shill my own shit because that's what the show's about now. We need to make money on it so that I can not pay you some more. Patreon.com/Gospel of Comics, and if you want to send failures or not, God damn it, I'm failure. If you want to send Ayrton some money, Ayrton the failure. If you want to send Ayrton some money,
failure to comply.
That's correct. Go to streamlab.com/Church of Failure. Even though it's under my name, it all goes directly to him. Back me up, sir.
I can confirm. I won't disavow that.
Okay. So that's how you pay Ayrton directly. If you want to contribute to the show, patreon.com/Gospel of Comics. Follow Ayrton McCartney on YouTube. Just search up Ayrton McCartney. Follow that guy so that he can get his custom YouTube address and we can read that out.
It's AYRTON, not ARY. I just want to.
Yeah. You are correct.
Throwing that out there.
But anyway, it doesn't look like Dillard's coming back. I'm disappointed in you, Dillard.
Rick, thanks for popping in. It's always fun having you on.
No problem.
Absolutely. Cross Comics, the Canadian Shield.
And don't worry, I'll give Dillard hell next time you guys are streaming something on yours or his channel. I'll pop in and tell him he's a dickhead or something.
I'm on Monday through Friday right now at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So.
Yeah, check out Rick Piper. His streams are entertaining. Usually it's him drawing, and you have a bunch of random people just talking about random bullshit. It's great. I like it.
Yeah. He also does drawing streams over on Twitch. If you catch one of those.
Yeah. I should hope, and those are usually at noon. I've switched my high noon on my from YouTube to Twitch for the summer. Although I didn't do anything this last week over on Twitch. I got extra new stuff this week coming up.
Sorry, I keep sneezing.
the pepper in that cigar hitting your nose.
It's COVID.
No, I start sneezing and I can't stop.
God damn it. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Ayrton McCartney, for getting us the fuck out of here. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rick.
Dylan says the audio wasn't working. Dylan just said his audio wasn't working.
Oh, okay.
Well, sad saying. Rick Piper was co-host for Metal.
All right. Well, I'm gonna close the show out with a song, and everybody get the fuck out of here. I'll see you in the general chat after I finish up the song.
Well, Not us, because we have to start working.
Okay. Well, fuck you. Good night, everybody.
We'll
Fuck
pop
you too.
we'll pop in for a minute.
Okay.
When I'm drinking whiskey, I know nothing can go wrong. When I'm drinking whiskey, only time my mind is strong. When I got my bottle is when I'm standing tall. 'Cause when I'm drinking whiskey, I don't feel nothing at all. Oh, when I'm good and drunken, can't nobody bring me down. I like to drink my whiskey when nobody is around. I know my empty bottle's the only one that understands that when I'm drinking whiskey, I forget the man I am. When I'm drinking whiskey, my hands don't ever shake. When I'm drinking whiskey, I don't lie in bed awake. 'Cause when I got my bottle, I don't care if I'm alive. 'Cause when I'm drinking whiskey, I ain't afraid to die. 'Cause when I'm drinking whiskey, I
Get the fuck out of here. I love all of you. Good night.